Welcome everyone to the Dev Podcast. This is the second podcast we had recording, and tonight we are going to be featuring two new guests. We have Howard on the stream with us, as well as Matthew from our PS4 super team. So we'll cover some of the big news that's been going on this last week, and a little bit of the questions that a lot of you guys have had for us regarding the PS4 development, as well as maybe a little bit of news from the future as well. So I guess we'll start with Howard real quick. You want to give us some of the scoop on what's going on in the office lately? What's been on this last week?
Just real quick, am I supposed to pretend that it is nighttime when it's actually outside?
No, you can pretend whatever you want.
I'm just curious. It's like a make-believe taped show, whatever, that I'm supposed to like.
It's a timeless experience, Howard.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Lasts forever.
No, let's get it going because it's almost my bedtime.
You know what? I'm so old that's not completely inaccurate for me. every single day is just a countdown to my bedtime.
Wow.
All right.
Is that how your clock works? It's like
that's exactly
you have 4 hours. You have 12 hours until you have to go lay down again.
Until I get to go lay down again. You mean?
Oh right, yeah. To consider it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, isn't inaccurate if that's how you look at it. This week, let's see. This week has been. It's a short week, right? Because we have this Thanksgiving thing. It's like the only time America eats turkey. Right, like turkey is never sold in any restaurants. I think for good reason. No offense, I'm sorry, but no restaurants. People have pheasants, pigeons. People eat pigeons. You eat
pigeons,
all kinds of fowl, birds, whatever. But no one eats turkey. And ducks.
Is that like a new edgy thing in New York? Like, okay, guys, we're gonna have ourselves some pigeons.
Pigeons is really? Pigeons is like.
I don't think I've ever tried pigeon before. Is that like a new thing?
Well, pigeon's really. I hate to say this, but pigeon's really good.
Well,
tasty.
No one's judging.
I kind of am.
Oh, okay. Well, she's judging you silently, but that's okay.
I just did it loudly though.
You guys never have pigeons?
No.
Pigeons?
But I do frequently eat turkey, so I'm not really sure where this is coming from.
Dude, frequently, only in Subway sandwiches, right?
No.
Like you regularly buy turkeys and actually cook it at home.
Yeah.
You're like one of the very few. If maybe you're
No. Wait, hold on.
Well, where are your data points coming from, Howard? What are you basing this off of? The fact that you personally don't purchase and cook turkey on the reg?
Just about no restaurant in New York City will serve turkey normally other than Thanksgiving.
But just because people aren't purchasing it regularly in one specific city in a restaurant doesn't mean that people never eat turkey throughout the course of the calendar year.
Is there not turkey sandwiches and stuff like
that? There absolutely are.
And that's basically the case. At least, I'm just saying. We'll just do an opinion poll. We'll ask people who comment on the podcast if that is true. Who eats turkey regular other than Thanksgiving?
Are we including turkey sandwiches? Or does it have to be hot?
No, not.
That's turkey. It's still turkey. No. It's not coming from a different animal all of a sudden just because it's been refrigerated.
That's eating a slice of turkey in a turkey sub or whatever. That's almost like eating hot dog or something. It's really different. At that point, people don't even care about the quality of the meat.
I think that's a lie.
Okay, so can we conclusively, can we come to a conclusion that this has been the main thought process for the staff at the office this week has been the matter of who eats turkey where?
Absolutely. Basically,
yeah, okay. This is Muse Games, everyone.
Yeah, we're Thanksgiving this, we're celebrating this, this holiday, whatever, this, so-called holiday where I feel like the sole purpose of it is, is to...
Turkey propaganda.
Yeah, it is turkey.
I just ate lunch and I'm hungry again now.
Ooh, you guys are speaking of food. Oh man.
There's an actual work we've done, which is absolutely nothing. No, we're going through the second round of PS4 submission. and that seems to be going well. We are making. We had a new update that just went out.
Yeah.
So
tell us a little bit about the update.
There's that. I mean, it's really just about like map adoption, and that's I guess that's the biggest thing. And then on the side, like for PS, we're also like just getting ready for for release at this point, doing a lot with setting up the store pages, and designing some like items and stuff for PS4 release, just to support PS4 release, planning for PSX. So if you guys are going to be at PSX
in Anaheim,
which is right across the street from Disneyland. So if you happen to be at Disneyland, if your primary plan was to go to Disneyland,
just ditch it and go to PSX.
Just go to PSX, and I mean, because like a ride. I mean, what you can do, right, is like you can wait for, say, a ride, like Space Mountain or whatever, and while your significant other's waiting for the ride, because I mean it's gonna be like 3 hours long anyway, right? So you guys should just hop over to PSX, which is right across the street, and check us out. Come by and say hi, and then play a little bit, hang out, and then go back to
your family,
which would be like it would be just in time for your ride. So, so they're just some logistical planning. This week's a short week. Outside of guns, we made a new build with the hamsters, where we experimented with the final boss design and some like core mechanic variations, such as like introducing a charge attack, and have any enemy respond to that, and so on. And then with the Project DR, which is the stealth action horror alt reality game concept that we're prototyping, we made another build, and this build is significantly better. The level design, the enemies, like the I don't know, I call it an enemy. The monster sentry behavior is patrol behavior is a lot more predictable. So we're just kind of going along, trying to solve some of these like visual, awareness, interaction type issues as we go. And we finally introduced like the ability to kill enemy, like basically to stealth kill, which is like pretty fun. So making good progress.
Cool.
With that, and also making progress with Project Oasis, which is still doing work, building out systems that will, allow him to better procedurally generate planets, and right now with the focus on exploration. So just kind of getting the exploration mechanics more honed in, and so on.
Awesome.
Well, since you brought up hamsters and you also brought up PSX, I feel like we have to throw in the plug that we will also be at Makes next month with Hamsterdam, which you'll be able to come and try out if you happen to be in the Montreal area. So you can come hang out with us and play some Hamsterdam too. So
yeah, I mean, I don't even
shameless plug.
On the side note, I don't know how many people play will have a PS Vita, right? Which there are probably very few, like a handful of you guys. But in case anybody has a PS Vita, we're going to be taking Hamsterdam to PS Vita.
Oh, nice.
I didn't realize we were ready to announce that.
Well, there you go, everyone.
Surprise!
Like, hey,
the title. There we go.
If we ever get a dev kit, then yes. But Sony's been. I mean, just speak to the popularity of PS Vita, right? Like they've been having problems scrounging up a dev kit for us internally.
Oh, no.
But I mean, one is supposed to ship, and I'm supposed to get it after Thanksgiving. So
Okay.
I did get quite a few questions from our players for the stream, so I'll go ahead and cover some of these right now. Let's see. Has Muse finished their float for this year's Macy's Thanksgiving Parade? After all, you are a New York-based company with game about airships.
Uh,
Missed opportunities.
Yeah. I feel like that's something we should have been more involved in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would have been a great marketing, like.
Who dropped the ball?
Yeah. Good job,
no
Liz. Good job.
Fired.
We weren't supposed to fill the balloons with hydrogen.
Uh-oh.
So that's where ours went.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, and they couldn't have the engines powered by moonshine either. That would have been kind of a safety hazard.
And also, I drank it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crews would drink it all.
I screw Mickey Mouse and like Pikachu, right? It would have been way cooler to have Guns of Icarus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Will they be more...
actually live relatively close to the parade, the start of the, or at least along the parade route, and I mean,
are you gonna crash the parade, Howard? Is this where we're headed?
I want to stay away from that. It's a mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine it is. Yeah. A more Guns of Icarus related question: will there be more animated poses in the future?
Yes. In fact, wait, didn't we? Oh shoot! Sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say. Did we drop those in? But we didn't, because we actually had to design the progression or the achievement tracks for them. But yes, actually, we have a few. How many? 2, 3 more already. Yeah.
Oh, there's like there's 3 right now. Well, technically, okay, if you include the default, it would be 3. But it depends. There's like 2 right now, so that's available.
In game, right?
In the game, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying we have like 2 or 3 more.
Cool. So there you go. There you go, folks.
We just need to sync it up with progression, actually.
That leads into my next question, actually. One of the player asked, will there be poses that are available in the store? Possibly something for Steam Workshop as well.
Yeah, possibly. Yes. With Steam Workshop, I need to talk to Derek, because there isn't. It's maybe.
Look, if there's going to be one for the Steam Workshop, I'm totally doing the Thriller dance for it. I'm just going to animate it.
There's going to be some work to be able to set that up, and to expose it to people to actually create it and for us to import it. So I need to talk to Derek actually to see how possible that is. So that's TBD. A workshop is TBD.
Okay. But there will be more possibly in the store then, at least. That could be a planned feature in the future.
In the store, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the store, so far we have just been releasing them as part of progression, right, or different achievement tracks or unlocks or whatever. But yeah, it's possible.
Okay, cool. Now, obviously, we all know the answer to this question, but let's get a definitive one straight from you, Howard. Is the Skywhale canon to lore? Oops, did you catch that?
Is it canon? Well,
He's like tripping over his words.
Yes. I guess yes, right? Because it's already sort of hinted at in the game.
Yeah.
So I guess.
All right. Cool.
It's not explicit, right? But whatever.
Yeah.
If
Fair
you
enough.
ask me, I'll say, hey, why not? It's cool. But ask Eric. It might be a different story.
Okay. And these are questions we did cover some of these during meetings yesterday, but I figure we'll cover on the stream as well. So for Matthew,
so we were actually going to put in AI automatons and stuff.
That sounds rad.
Yeah, we never really got it to completion. So
okay. Maybe something for the future then. Who knows?
Yeah.
I
had dreams about Skyway.
Is that why you have the harpoon in the game? You want to go hunting?
Well, yeah. At least no. We had the harpoon, but I was definitely thinking about how to utilize the harpoon on Skywhale. Well, just while we're on that note, right? I was thinking hey, it would be cool if like, say Skywell has like 10x the HP value, right? It's basically like almost indestructible, invincible, and then only the devs can fly it. Wouldn't that be really cool?
You would make so many people jealous, man. You have no idea. Like, whoa.
Especially like, yes, what? Like, you guys, we can't beat you, then fine.
We'll just sit here and take it. It's fine. I have an indestructible whale,
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, take it down. You get an exclusive. You get exclusive gear, but you can never take it down.
Right. So on a PS4 related note, this one's for you, Matt, actually, because we did cover this in meetings yesterday, but it helps with some of the players who are curious about this as well. The matter of names, because obviously, as I understand it, you have to set up a separate account for PlayStation 4, but can you use the same name as the account you have for your Steam profile or your Steam login?
Okay, so Sony actually has some restrictions on this. The name that appears in-game when you're online has to be the same as your PlayStation name. So the one you sign in with or set, which leads us to some difficulties where we, potentially could collide with names that are already in the game. However, another of their requirements is that you have to identify both who's a PC player and who's a PlayStation player when you're doing cross-platform on PlayStation. So that kind of gives us a little bit of an out. You could have a player with the same name on Sony's network, and they would just show up with that name, but with an additional piece of information that shows that, yes, they're a PlayStation player. So
a player can come on to if they have a profile on PlayStation called iTouch, they can actually log in as me, but with a PS4 icon next to it.
Yeah, it would show up as that name plus PlayStation at the end.
Actually, so I was incorrect, or at least not entirely correct in yesterday. I apologize.
No, it's good to get the clarification. So straight from the source. Okay, so would there be any chance for players to? That kind of answers the second question, because we were thinking about like how we could like apply a transition from player's profile to. Would it be possible to actually copy someone's data from the Steam profile over to the PlayStation one, like progression and all their rewards and everything? Would that be possible to recouple it to that for players?
It might be possible. It would almost certainly be manual work on our end at the moment.
Okay.
In the long term, it might be possible that a player signs in on the PlayStation and then also signs into their Muse Games account that you do when you set up a PC account that you won't do when you set up a PS4 account. It might be possible to connect them that way, so that the player has to have that login info to connect those two accounts. And that way, every time you log in on PS4, though, you would still be showing your PS4 name, but it might be possible that it is linked to the account you set up initially on PC.
I think, the part of the issue right now is just that we don't, like, if you signed into Steam, right, there's no way we will know, like, what Steam account you have and what PS account you have, like, automatically. Like, because Steam has one account structure, Sony has another. There's really no way to, like, for us automatically know. I mean, there used to be, in the PS3 days, there used to actually be like account crossover, like where you can use your PS account to sign into Steam, and sign to Sony, but that no longer exists. That's no longer the case.
Okay, but the names they get in the game is the ones they use for their profiles, so it's not changeable at all.
Correct. You can change your Sony ID occasionally. I think there's a limit on it, but the online identifier that you always are showing if you're playing from PS4 must match your PSN account.
Okay, so that actually changes a little bit of the interface as far as what they can do their profile. So renaming themselves isn't an option then, I guess, because they have to do it through the system itself. That's interesting. Okay. Would there be other limitations or extra features that PlayStation 4 players can expect from the PC version? so far?
We're trying to keep it as similar as possible. We don't want there to be any major divergences in experiences for players on either platform, like multi-platform titles like Rocket League, where you can play cross-platform. It's the same game. You're playing the same experience. You're seeing people from both platforms online. We're trying to make it a little easier than that game initially had with playing with your friends, because it was highly integrated into both Steam and PSN in Rocket League, so you couldn't actually invite PlayStation players. Because we have our own internal friends network as well, it'll let us be a little more flexible. I think Rocket League's also moving to their own system where you have an account in Rocket League where you can invite your friends now, but that wasn't always the case for them. We're trying to make sure that's working on launch.
So it's interesting you're mentioning other games when it comes to these comparisons. Has there been other titles you've also looked at for references when developing some of these kinds of, I guess, PS4 specific crossover transitions?
Yes.
Yeah, so in general, this is our first console title. We have been looking at a lot of other games for how they set up controls, what options they give players. That PC generally has more options in the options menu when you start up a game. We're trying to see which options are reasonable to give players and which ones we might need to restrict. What kind of UI kind of works, what sort of navigation between the pages makes sense. We've been looking pretty much anywhere and everywhere for that kind of information. Cross-platform's been really interesting because there are so few cross-platform titles. So it's some of the stuff we've had to make up as we go along, but some of it we can see what the standards are, where the standards fall short, and what we might be able to do to improve them.
Speaking of that, I understand that PlayStation 4 players would be, because of the hardware applied to this, I suppose 3v3 is the largest PvP known lobby format that they can join in, or is 4v4 still available for them?
Wait,
4v4.
Yeah, go ahead.
4v4 is fine. It's the alliance matches, the 4 ships versus enemies that really cause the most problems, just by sheer numbers, because there are so many airships in the game, and we know exactly what hardware we have on PS4. It's easy to say, this is what we can handle, this is what we can't. Whereas on PC, there are players in our game who probably can't handle 4-ship PvE, but they can handle smaller, so it's their choice. We kind of have to make that decision for PlayStation ourselves because we know what hardware we're working with. But PvP, on the other hand, even when you have those 8 ships in the match, it's a little more predictable how much stuff you have going on. It's a little lighter, so that seems to be working fine. All our performance tests indicate that it should run well on PS4.
Okay, so we can expect that it's possible for 4 ships in the future?
The only thing that people won't be able to do on PS4 is 4-ship PvE. That's it.
Okay, so it will be planned for strictly 3 max.
Yeah. And for PvE, PvP is like fair games. Anything goes.
Okay. Is it fair to say that, how would that work if I invited someone to a 4-ship lobby? Would they just be prevented from doing that? Would there a message pop up or something?
Yeah, that's one of the UI difficulties that we were trying to avoid. We were trying to keep the games as equal as possible, and the more we diverge, the more UI we have to change and invent, the more special cases we need to write into the code. For that one, it is going to be a lot of special casing where it's like, oh, that invite isn't valid because it's a PSN player. And
I imagine that changes the algorithm for the matchmaking as well. But does matchmaking in general get changed in any way because of PS4 players?
Because matchmaking generally, you really de-emphasize 4-ship matches anyway.
Okay.
So it doesn't really affect it that much. I mean, if we look at it, people play 4v4 or to play 4-ship is usually edge cases anyway. The percentage of play of all the matches for 4-ship matches are usually less than 5%.
Okay, cool. All right, I got a few more questions and then we'll go ahead and wrap up. there was a player who was inquiring about adding more cosmetics in the game, in particular something like an extra cosmetic slot for backpacks or cloaks. Would that be something to consider in the future? Would that be a challenge because there's already some costumes that conflict with that? What's your angle on this? Would that be something that we can consider in the future? Is that a possibility?
Backpacks, yes. Cloak, like I guess the way we design costumes has always been that it's sort of more, I don't know what the right term is, like curated, whatever. I mean, it's designed so that we design the entire costume so that there is sort of a consistent thematic fit, right? Like so that we reduce the like number of customization slots for the sake of aesthetics, right? Just because we think that if whenever we design a new costume or someone does a new costume, whatever, if we design it as one entire costume, it's more aesthetically consistent. And so like
Then breaking it up,
have like really like mismatched looks, that
overlap.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of like isn't like as thematic consistent with the game, like that kind of case we try to avoid. So we limited the number of like cosmetic or customization slots that people can have. And so we always design the costume as one entire piece, right? So if we design like costumes that have like more of a cape look, cloak look, whatever, that's certainly possible. But to add a customization slot just for cloak and backpack, like that, I mean, that's just something that we made a design choice or a artistic choice long ago that we didn't want to support. Well, for better or worse. But I mean, I think now adding that will be more difficult just because, we'll have to look at all the costumes and whatnot, see if there fits and,
right.
UI and so on. So, I mean, at this juncture, we probably won't be adding cosmetic like slots specifically for cloaks or backpacks, but having a costume though with cloaks or backpack is certainly fair games.
Okay, and speaking further on the whole cosmetic thing, is there any plans to add another cosmetic slot for ships, like flags or sails or something else that matter?
Flags and sails should be doable. Yeah, that should be doable. I mean, although once again, we'll have to kind of overhaul the UI for it. So, and the just basically what the ship customization screens for it. So it's not going to be like, if we do something like that, it won't be immediate.
It'll take time, yeah. All right, and the final question I have is, players who have been around for a while have noticed that ever since launch with the original Guns of Icarus Online, some of the maps have been around as well to this time, and they are starting to look a little dated compared to the newer maps that are released. Are there any plans? Yeah, are there any plans considered for either revamping maybe the textures or the modeling or anything in the maps themselves to make them look a little more 2017?
Yeah, I know that Tim has talked about this, and Tim is absolutely aware of it. So that's definitely a possibility. I mean, I think before our like impetus has always been, we'll just come up with new maps, right? Because people will prefer playing new maps on new maps, but we certainly could. I mean, there's nothing stopping us from doing that except for just our time. So
okay, so it's just reviews and meetings and checking it out, seeing what's possible. Yeah. Okay, cool. Is there anything that players should be aware of? And like by the time they watch this video, it'll be Friday, so it's post Thanksgiving. They'll probably be busy with their Black Friday shopping if they're in North America. I know it's still it's like a growing thing here in Europe, but not quite as big as it is in the States. But anything that they should be aware of coming to the next week?
Wait, what are you talking? What did you say? Thanksgiving is a thing in Europe?
No, Black Friday.
Oh, Black Friday.
Yeah, it's sort of taking hold in certain places, but it's not quite as big as it is in the States.
Today is like Black Friday. I think it will be, at least especially in the future, it's gonna be like more and more de-emphasized. Like, yes, Black Friday is still absolutely a thing, right? it is still the biggest retail day. But right now with like Amazon doing Prime Day and with like Alibaba doing the Singles Day, whatever, like Singles Day, like in one day, Alibaba generated what 26 or 27 billion dollars in sales. And I think Prime Day generated like I don't know 30, 40 billions in sales in one day. That's like just crazy. I actually think that with like stuff online like Amazon and Alibaba, guys like Amazon, Alibaba, and eventually I'm pretty sure like Walmart or whoever, they'll basically set their own discount day, and the more they do, the more like Black Friday will actually be de-emphasized. That's more like brick and mortar. So
okay. So
Maybe-
anything Guns N' Icarus or Muse related that we should make a note of for the weekend or the following week?
Well, I guess if you're like making a mad dash into whatever electronics store and try to snap up the deals, just be careful. I guess that would be my advice.
Or on the Steam
Put
store?
yourself on, dude.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, as you guys know, there will be events over the weekends. We have the Iron Fork on Friday, the Chaos Skirmish on Saturday, the Community Skirmish on Sunday, and we will be returning again for our Dev Games on Tuesday next week, which would be 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC. So be sure to join us, and thank you for joining.
Well, on the holiday note, the fall sale has just begun. Just a few
well,
days.
there you go.
Yes.
If you haven't picked up Alliance, check it out, guys.
Yeah.
That's on sale. Yeah,
But both
I
of them are on sale.
It's been a busy day for me, so I haven't checked my Steam sale page yet. So.
Bingo.
I know I'm guilty. But,
And by the time
we've all
people
been
see this, it would have been on sale for 2 days already.
there. I know. Yeah, they're like, this guy, what a scrub. You should have known this already. Like, you have to understand, we're doing this recording before Friday, so
Yeah.
really, yeah. But anyways, guys, enjoy your holidays if you do celebrate during this weekend, and if not, enjoy the weekend, and hopefully a little more Guns of Icarus online and other Muse-related products. Otherwise, keep it real, and thanks for flying with Guns of Icarus, guys. See you around.
Bye.
Right.